KVU 25 News Now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Amaya Norman. Some Victoria residents say fading road markings are making it harder and sometimes dangerous to drive in parts of the city. From Airline Road to Navarro Street and Sam Houston Drive, neighbors say lane lines and other road markings have worn down so much they're barely visible. One resident told us it can be especially confusing at night or in bad weather when drivers rely on those markings to stay in their lane and navigate turns safely. She says the issue has been going on for months or years and hopes the city will prioritize repainting the lines to prevent accidents.
Turns that thank goodness there wasn't cars coming, because I couldn't see to get in the right lane or to get in the right lane to turn. And I was born here, so I'm very familiar with the town, and that helps, of course. But if you want to drive safely, it applies to all people of all ages, and my concern is for everybody, not just one age group.
City officials say they plan to look into the problem and will get back to us Monday with more information. A man in South Texas accused of plotting a race-based terror attack is now facing new charges. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office in San Antonio rearrested Nathan Henderson this week. He is now accused of possessing child pornography. Last month, authorities charged Henderson with possessing bomb-making materials. Witnesses told investigators that the 39-year-old had previously made statements expressing a desire to kill Black and Jewish people. They also said Henderson described himself as a white supremacist. When the deputies raided his home in July, they found boxes of weapons and grenades. Now let's go to Trey Mining with the first look at our forecast. Trey, tell us how the week is going to be looking like for children going back to school. Give us alert if there going to be heat waves or anything people should be prepared for.
Heat definitely will be on for the upcoming week, this week, coming up week. And a little bit of rain activity we had today will be again tomorrow and throughout most of the week coming up. Currently on the outside now, all the rain is gone. We've settled down. Very warm and humid on the outside. A few more rain showers will be in our area again tomorrow with the daytime heat. But temperature is currently under a nice evening, 80 degrees, with southerly winds coming off the Gulf, keeping it humid, with well, a little bit of breeze out there, about 5 miles per hour at best. What about rain chances? What are they coming up for next week? What about the tropics? Anything happening there? There are some things to look at. We'll give the details on that later on in the full forecast to come. Amaya?
Thank you, Trey. Wildfires burning in Canada are once again impacting the air quality in the United States. An air quality alert will take effect from Sunday until Tuesday in Minnesota. The state agency that monitors pollution control says the air quality index will hit red next week. That means the air will be unhealthy for everyone in northern and central parts of Minnesota. The rest of the state will be under a code orange. That means it is unhealthy for sensitive groups. This is a continuation of poor air quality for the state. Now, Canadian wildfires also caused a statewide alert 10 days ago that lasted several days. We have been following the Blake Down case for years, and now new updates are coming in. Our reporter Trenton Whiting has the latest.
Garcia, Don Brubaker has the night off. Blake Downs is now a convicted killer.
On April 9th, 2022, Blake Michael Downs shot and killed 19-year-old Cohen Borm here at Downs' home in Port Lavaca. The night started with some drinks and a card game, a combination prosecutors say often led to aggression from Downs. But on this night, it turned into violence. Downs used a gun he had with him to shoot Borm, who died on the scene. When police arrived at 8:30 in the morning, Downs immediately confessed to the crime. But that didn't stop Downs from meeting bond and spending the next 2 years out of jail while waiting for court proceedings. During that time, the community made their feelings known, some expressing frustration at his freedom and anxiously waiting for the court proceedings. Jury was selected on Monday, July 29th, 2024. By the following Wednesday, Downs was given a 30-year sentence with parole eligibility at 15 years. He is now in the Joe Ney State Jail in Hondo, where he'll serve his sentence. Trenton Whiting, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
Authorities in Central Florida say a body found Friday in a pond along the interstate is likely a missing teen from North Carolina. The Matani County Sheriff Office will conduct an autopsy on Sunday to determine a cause of death. However, detectives believe the body found near Interstate 75 is a missing 18-year-old Giovanni Pilater. Investigators say he went missing while traveling with his family on the east coast of Central Florida. He was last seen on August 1st. Pilater reportedly exited a vehicle in Manatee County after an argument. His backpack and phone were found about a half a mile away from where he disappeared. Authorities are still trying to figure out what happened to the teen. Authorities say a DeKalb County police officer was killed when a gunman opened fire near the campus of both of the CDC and Emory University in Atlanta. The shooting prompting lockdowns and shelters in places orders. Today, the GBI released the name of the suspect shooter who died at the scene. Now, ABC's Faith Abube is covering the story from Atlanta.
A terrifying scene in Atlanta just before 5 p.m. Friday afternoon. Multiple gunshots reported at a CVS drugstore at an intersection by the campus of Emory University and near the entrance to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Today is a very dark day in DeKalb County.
Officials say a suspect fired multiple rounds into the CDC building, bullet holes seen in the front entrance of the CVS store. As the chaos unfolded, university officials with this urgent warning for students: run, hide, fight. Nearby areas placed on lockdown, including a daycare center with 92 children inside. This woman says her wife and son, just 1.5 years old, were inside when it happened.
Angering that, my child can't be safe at daycare and my wife can't be safe picking him up from daycare.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation today identifying the suspected shooter as 30-year-old Patrick Joseph White of Kennesaw, Georgia. Investigators say he was located on the second floor of the CVS building and exchanged gunfire with officers.
He had been struck by gunfire. We do not know at this time whether that was from officers or if it was self-inflicted.
DeKalb County police say one officer, 33-year-old David Rose, was also killed. He leaves behind his pregnant wife and 2 children.
He gave his life with a commitment to serve others, and he should be respected for that.
No civilians were injured by gunfire. CDC Director Dr. Susan Mornares in a statement writing, "We're actively coordinating with federal, state, and local partners to fully investigate the shooter and this tragic crime." The Emory University Police Department says it'll increase police presence throughout the weekend. Faith Abube, ABC News, Atlanta.
Victoria College opened its doors today for Super Saturday, a one-stop event aimed at helping students get set for the upcoming semester. Students had the chance to take care of nearly every step in the enrollment process all in one day. They could meet with advisors to map out their educational plans, apply for admission and financial aid, register for classes, make payments, and even purchase books and supplies. The VC's library was also open, giving students a chance to explore study resource ahead of the semester.
Potential students are able to complete their admissions application, FAFSA application, pay their tuition, meet with their advisor. The bookstore's open too. It's tax-free weekend, so some items will qualify for that.
Advisors share details about a variety of opportunities, from degree and certificate programs to transfer pathways, job training courses, and adult educational options. Victoria College says events like Super Saturday makes it easier for students to start and stay on track towards their goal. And did you catch it? The sturgeon moon lit up the sky earlier this morning across the region. Here's a picture from one of our viewers. The full moon, named after the sturgeon fish, once plentiful in the Great Lakes and Lake Champlain, reaches peak brightness at 2:55 a.m. Central Time today. Native Americans and early settlers relied on the moon as a key food source during late summer, which is how this moon got its name. And if you miss it, you will have to wait until next year. The moon only appears once a year in August. And for more on today's news story, come to crossroadstoday.com. Don't forget to submit your birthday wishes. Carolina Strain and Parker Cox will read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise. You can also submit a local military hero so we can recognize them. Mexico pushes back on U.S. military plans after Trump targets drug cartels. Details ahead.
Let's take a review of the day. 98 degrees was the high today, very hot again today. Low 74 degrees is pretty much on normal for this time of year. Almost half an inch of rain earlier with storms that rolled through this afternoon around Victoria Regional Airport and the city of Victoria. More rain tomorrow. Find out in my full forecast.
Japan today marks the 80th anniversary of the U.S. atomic bombing of Nagasaki that killed 70,000 people. Bells rang out marking the beginning of the ceremony at Nagasaki Peace Memorial Park, and books were present with the names of the victims. Survivors say they hope their hometown will be the last place on Earth to be hit by an atomic bomb. But Nagasaki mayor worries the world is moving in the opposite direction. The mayor said if things continue as they are, we are heading for nuclear war, calling it a crisis of human survival. Representatives from 95 countries attended the ceremony, including the U.S. and Russia. Mexico president is rejecting the U.S. of American military forces in the country. This follows reports that President Trump directed the Pentagon to go after Latin American drug cartels, which the administration has labeled as foreign terrorist groups. Here's ABC's Christine Cordero with the latest.
Tonight, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum adamant the U.S. will not use military force in Mexico in its crackdown on drug cartels.
Estados Unidos no va a venir a México con los militares.
Sheinbaum responding to President Trump's directive ordering the Pentagon to prepare options for the possible use of military force against certain drug cartels. Two U.S. officials tell ABC News Trump is targeting cartels they labeled foreign terrorist organizations. The president dismissing questions on any possible plan.
Latin America's got a lot of cartels. They've got a lot of drugs flowing, so we want to protect our country.
According to one U.S. official, the use of military force against cartels is not imminent. The president's directive, the latest escalation in his vow to crack down on the flow of drugs and immigration. Trump, through both terms, has sent thousands of National Guard troops to the southern border and more recently to Southern California. The administration in February designated 8 cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. U.S. officials argue the administration cannot treat them like local street gangs.
They have weaponry that looks like what terrorists, in some cases armies have. They control territory in many cases.
The designation of foreign terrorist organization gives the government more power, but it does not single-handedly allow for the use of military force. So it's unclear what exactly the administration is considering and what can be done legally. Christine Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
President Donald Trump picked Tammy Bruce to be the next U.S. Deputy Representative to the United Nations. He made the announcement on Saturday. Before working for President Trump, Tammy Bruce was a TV host and political commentator. The Senate has to approve her for the job. And if they say yes, she will help the U.S. ambassadors to the United Nations. President Trump also chose Mike Waltz to be the ambassador, but the Senate has not approved him yet. And the vice president met with the leaders from Europe today to talk about the war in Ukraine before President Trump meets with Putin. Ukraine's President Zelensky said he won't give up any land to stop the war, even though President Trump talks about trading some land for peace.
Vice President J.D. Vance in the UK this weekend meeting with European allies as President Trump prepares to meet with Russia's President Vladimir Putin. A U.S. official telling ABC News the talks produced significant progress toward President Trump's goal of bringing an end to the war in Ukraine. President Trump missing his own deadline to impose sanctions on Russia, instead agreeing to meet with Putin in Alaska on Friday, marking the Russian president's first meeting with a major Western leader since Russia invaded Ukraine more than 3 years ago. Ukraine's President Zelensky will not be at that summit. He held a flurry of calls with European leaders. Zelensky warning everyone can clearly see Putin's tactics. He fears sanctions and is doing everything to bail on them. He wants to gain territorial spoils for the second time already. French President Macron saying the future of Ukraine cannot be decided without the Ukrainians. President Trump has suggested a peace deal would involve exchanging territory.
There'll be some swapping of territories to the betterment of both.
According to the Wall Street Journal, Europe and Ukraine have presented their own peace plan to top U.S. officials. It stipulates that ceding any land must be backed by ironclad security guarantees, including potential NATO membership for Ukraine, and rejects Russia's proposal to hand over Ukrainian-held parts of the Donetsk region. And although Zelensky will not be at Friday's summit, President Trump says he remains open to a trilateral summit with both Putin and Zelensky. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News, New York.
Earlier this year, Kia recalled more than 137,000 SUVs. They offered a fix for owners of Kia Seltos and Soul vehicles, but many people said the fix didn't work. Now, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is checking to see if Kia handled the problem and customers' complaints the right way. Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. Stream our daily newscasts and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus.
All the rain from earlier is gone. Quiet night ahead for us. Very warm and humid. Will rain be back tomorrow? The heat sure will. We'll give you the details coming up next in the full forecast.
Here's a look at what you can expect on Community Crossroads. We hear from Port Lavaca Main Street, the Salvation Army of Victoria, Victoria ISD, the Welder Center, and the Victoria Symphony.
STEM Middle are creating their own instruments that they're going to showcase at this concert the night of. And so I've already worked with the teachers for a couple of days, and the kids are going to get to come and enjoy it. And it's open to the public. I have 1,300 tickets to sell to the public.
Good Saturday evening, everyone. Trey Mining here. Hope you had a good Saturday today, and hope you have a good day tomorrow as well. Looking at the tropics first, let's take a look at them, then we'll get into our local area weather here. Some storms over Florida, not really expected to do too much. Keep that area of the country on the wet side. Has some areas of low pressure in the Atlantic Ocean, one off the African coast, one in between Africa and the Caribbean Sea. Has some potential for development, both of these systems do. Looks like they'll be tracking out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, not bothering anybody, but they could be in named storms before too much longer. For us here, no worries about that around here. We're dealing with the heat and a little bit of rain from time to time. Current temperature in the low 80s. We'll be in the 70s by the time we wake up early tomorrow morning. The high temperatures tomorrow will be back up to near 9 degrees by noontime, in the mid-upper 90s by the afternoon time as well. And this is just half the story here, because this is just measures what the thermometer reads. When you add that heat index value in, add the humidity levels, a little bit of southerly winds, and the temperatures are already in the 90s by the afternoon time. The feel-like temperature, actually what it feels to your body, will be well above 100 degrees by the time we get to noontime. It's about 4, 5, 6 in the evening, so be careful out there. Having the outdoor activities planned for the afternoon. Drink plenty of water, find some shade, and take frequent breaks. Make sure everyone is staying safe. Look at the future tracker here. A lot of moisture in the Gulf, headed toward the Texas coast, kind of lingering from the Texas coast all the way toward New Orleans, Florida Panhandle, into the areas of the south of Miami, Florida or so. Some of that making its way toward the western Gulf, of course, like we had today. So a little bit of instability still in the air with daytime heating. So maybe a few rain showers starting along the coast early tomorrow morning and making their way inland, expanding inland with the daytime heat tomorrow afternoon. So keep that in mind, kind of hit and miss like it was today. Some areas will get the rainfall, some areas will miss it altogether. Future tracker looking at the rest of the night tonight, pretty much on the calm side through the early morning hours for your day on Sunday. Maybe a few rain showers popping up early tomorrow morning. So somewhere near Port Lavaca, southern parts of Calhoun County, and Aransas County as well, working their way inland by about 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. So if you're going to church, make sure you bring your umbrella just in case. Expanding a little bit more as you head toward the afternoon hours, moving their way inland a little bit with the sea breeze and the daytime heat. So keep that in mind as you're making your plans for your day tomorrow. Definitely going to be on the hot side as well. Victoria, for your day tomorrow, starting off in the early 80s by the time we get to about 9 o'clock. Afternoon time will be in the well into the mid-90s or so, with a risk of rain shower storm in the afternoon. So that's something to keep in mind as you're making your plans. Cuero as well. Southerly winds throughout the day. High temperatures well into the 90s by the time we get to the afternoon. Index value above 100 degrees in the afternoon as well. We're dodging a rain shower storm in the afternoon as well. For Port Lavaca, probably starting off in the morning time with a rain shower along the coast, working their way inland throughout the day. Temperatures for us well into the 90s throughout the entire forecast period the next 7 days. Isolated rain shower chances throughout each day after as well. In the afternoon especially, the daytime heat, lows in the 70s. So stay cool out there best you can and be safe out there, of course. Take a look at this right here. This is the QR code you see there on your screen. So scan that code. They'll take you to a webpage. You can download our app. News, weather, and sports at your fingertips. Easy, convenient, free of charge having your phone to be connected with us. And we've got sports over there, Mr. Ray Robinson.
Thank you, Trey. The Industrial Cobras was one of several teams to have their team scrimmagers this morning. See what one of the players have to say following their performance coming up in sports. All right, Crossroads, we're getting closer to kickoff for high school football, and you know what that means. Scrimmage action is heating up. Schools all over are hitting the field for some in-home matchups. Cuero, Ganado, Industrial all threw down this morning, and it's looking pretty promising for the Cobras. Check out what their quarterback, Cooper Freitas, had to say.
Feeling good, man. I think we have a pretty solid team this year. A lot of new schemes and stuff, and I feel like we're getting it down really well. I feel like we still need to learn the schemes a little better. We're still getting it down well, but I feel like we need to know the ins and outs a little better. I feel like I adjusted pretty well. I mean, we got a little acclimation to it the year prior, a little bit with everybody kind of trickling in, but the coaches are really energetic this year, and it feels like a great environment for the kids.
And with football season kicking off for the boys, that also means volleyball action is right alongside it. Let's take you down to Cuero for a moment, where I caught two Crossroads teams scrimmaging against each other. The matchup featured El Campo going against Yoakum, and it was El Campo that looked impressive in this exhibition game. El Campo is coming off a strong season, finishing with a record of 22-14, securing their third place in their district. And with some returning players this year, El Campo could be a team to watch out for on the hardwood. Meanwhile, the Yoakum Lady Bulldogs are a young squad eager to take the next step and elevate their game. They were definitely put to the test against one of the top teams from the Crossroads. And now on to the pros, as they were also in some preseason action. The Texans took on the Minnesota Vikings, with the Houstons beginning their preseason on the road. This game marked the debut of J.J. McCarthy. McCarthy looked solid in the first couple of possessions. There he is connecting to Jordan Addison for a 5-yard gain. He was one of the 4 quarterbacks in rotation for tonight's game. On a crucial 3rd and 4th down play, McCarthy ran a play action and found Jordan Addison once again, and this time it was for a 10-yard gain and a first down. The Texans, on the other hand, struggled to get their quarterbacks going until late in the game. Graham Mertz threw 3 interceptions, which hindered their momentum. Keldon Slovis led the Texans in passing yards with just 71 yards. The Vikings' young core was the more impressive team today, winning the game. Final score, 20-10. And NBA fans across the Texas are in for some elite basketball action this Christmas. For the 2nd year in a row, the Spurs will be in action on Christmas, battling the Oklahoma City Thunder, and we could be witnessing more sparks in this rivalry between Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama. The Dallas Mavericks will also face off against the Golden State Warriors. Both teams are sporting almost completely revamped rosters compared to last year's Christmas games. You got Jimmy Butler on the Warriors, and you got Kyrie along with Anthony Davis on the Mavs. So basketball fans, get ready, because the holidays are shaping up to be a real treat on Christmas Day. And the Cowboys' young core also didn't have the brightest of preseason openers as well. Cowboys' Malik Davis led the game in rushing with 63 yards and just 7 carries. And the Cowboys did go on to lose to the Rams as well. Final score, 20-10. The Cowboys will play the Ravens next Saturday. The station for that game is pending on where you can catch it. But make sure you stay tuned on KAVU, where me or Max will keep you guys updated on when that game, on what station that game will be on. But that does it for your sports. Amaya?
Thank you, Ray. Beauty may be skin deep, but these dogs prove real charm comes from within. Meet Petunia, Crowd, the world's ugliest dog, coming up. Beauty is only skin deep, but ugly goes to the bone. This bundle of joy is Petunia, and though the Sonoma County Fair in California crowned her the world's ugliest dog of 2025, anyone can see how gorgeous she really is. And that's the point of the contest, to show how beautiful even unconventional dogs are. Also, it encouraged people to adopt dogs from shelter rather than buy them. As you can see, Petunia wasn't alone in her quest to win the title. The stage was chock full of some odd looking but beautiful in their own way. Now that is an interesting looking thing. Now let's go over to Victoria hosts its first ever Fan Fest this weekend, bringing fans face to face with the voice behind their favorite character, Carla Perez, best known as Rita Repulsa from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and Chuck Huber, the voice of Android 17 from Dragon Ball Z, and were among the highlights. So this even is about, what is it?
It featured cosplay contests, vendors, a video game tournament, just an all-out place for, you know, these young adults to embrace their inner...
Anime, right?
Yeah, anime.
Okay, that's the anime contest, you guys, that they had. They will be there for tomorrow. Now let's go to the weather.
I'll tell you what, the weather will not be as ugly as that dog in that last story there. I was trying to say, but it'd be nice though. That was a beautiful dog, by the way. And with a little bit of rain shower chance tomorrow, otherwise highs in the 90s.
Well, thank you for joining us. We hope you still be back with us for tomorrow for 25 News Now Weekend at 5:30. Good night.